Hello there, Server 17 once again. This is my Thief Master Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Chapter 7, The Hidden City. I think this is the hardest level on the game. And I think that for some pretty good reasons, and that is, a lot of my strategies for some of these early rooms came from madness. They came from not caring that I kept getting caught and I couldn't find a specific path through them, because they don't seem to have a path. They seem to have tons of guards, tons of light sources, tons of way to get seen, and not really that many ways of getting through here. And it really frustrated me, so the path that I'm going to be doing now, it implements a safety save just then, and I'm going to use a bottle. And from this point onwards, the AI is kind of random when it comes to when I throw the bottle. At this point, if you follow, you'll be fine. There goes the bottle. There goes the people looking for it. They're all going to walk past, and as soon as they walk past me, he kind of thought he saw me, but he didn't. As soon as he turns around, we're going to move, and we're going to move directly following this line, but do not boost around the next corner because there is a bird cage. That bird cage is the reason why this is as terrifying as it is. And I've tried this 3 or 4 times, and every time it did work, but there's always the opportunity that somebody might turn around and spot you. And one of the prerequisites of this path is you're going to need a rope arrow. Hopefully you've bought some rope arrows along the way, because if you don't, then this path is not going to help you too much, which kind of sucks actually. But I'm sure there's a cheeky vent, I'm sure there's something that you can do to get through this section much easier. But this was just the path that I found, so this is the path that I'm showing. And once you're up on the rope, you want to jump out onto the edge, and I was a bit paranoid at this point because I don't like being spotted, and I don't really know how the AI handles you when you're on a different level. So you'll notice I act really tentatively here because I don't know if I'm safe, and I think you're fine. I don't think anybody can really see you, unless you stood in the light and you're really, taunting death. But just swoop past the illumination, and the only thing left to do now is to climb into this next area, and you will hit the first checkpoint of the level. That right there, that room, figuring that room out was incredibly frustrating for me, so don't feel disheartened if you're having a tough time with it. It's just, there's not really that many obvious paths through it, and if you're going to have trouble on this level, I think that's probably going to be where it is. So this next area is also very tough. It's another one that's not so obvious, and it's one of those sequences where I tried every single different direction and got no results, and the one that worked was the one where I didn't care, and I was just like, this is stupid and bullshitty and I'm not having fun, so I'm just going to run it. And it worked, and it turned out it worked really well, so that when I came to do it for this playthrough to record, I got it first time, and I'm really happy to say, because this level, it really kicked my ass, and none of the others really did. This one just seems, for some reason, especially at the beginning, to really step up the level design, and it just doesn't seem like it was designed as well. And that's the reasons why it does seem unnecessarily more challenging.
Well, I never liked crowds anyway.
But once you open the door, I sit on top of this box because a couple of dudes are going to come. So we just rang the bell and they think it's supper time. And as soon as they pass you, you want to drop off and you want to go to the right into this next room. So here comes the first guy with the torch. Torches are obviously bad news because they'll spot you in places that people without them just simply can't. But hit this room, boom across here, and this is when things get a little bit tricky. This guy has seen me a handful of times because he just sits there, he doesn't move at all. So to get past him, we're going to be using a mixture of some tricky swoops and distraction. But I'm waiting on this guy. As soon as I know that this guy's come this way, he'll go the other way, and it gives us enough time to play with his friend and without him knowing. So he starts moving away from us, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to line the swoop up so I'm on the edge of his visibility and I can get out of his visibility as quickly as possible. But I don't want to risk it, so instead I'm going to shoot a blunt arrow next to him to turn his head, and then I'm going to do it. You do not have to fire that arrow then, but the arrow is the safest way to do it. Then I come over here, I'm going to hit this for a safety save, because you have to do the ringing the bell all the time. If you don't, if you get unlucky with the checkpoint. And now that we've done this, we're going to be boosting through most of this section, because speed is an ally here. So you boost all the way down here, there should be one civilian, and there's sometimes one guard, but you'll notice he was going the other way when I came out of the cupboard. All you need to do with this guy is follow him from behind, boost past him, hit this switch, and then wait. And every fibre of your body at this point is going to be telling you, I am completely visible, there's dudes everywhere, why am I sat here? But it works. Wait until the lift stops, and then just casually walk into it. And another pretty challenging part of this level has just been conquered effortlessly. So just wait for it to stop turning. Here comes the guard I mentioned. He kind of sees you and then he stops. Then you just go past them both into here and you hit this switch, and you're going to see a level transition now, folks, because this elevator takes forever. And for the interest of brevity, you don't need to watch me in an elevator for 10 minutes because it's just not helping anyone. So there's the crossfade. Here's the end of the elevator ride. Cliched, but it does bust up. And then you want to jump across here into third person mode, and we're coming up on another handful of tricky rooms. And the trickiest for me was getting into the cave coming up, because there's a guy who, he must be bugged. There's no other way it could be, and the reason I say this is his animation is he keeps putting his crossbow up and then immediately back down, like there's something looping on him that shouldn't be looping. And I'm of the belief that he's supposed to patrol, he's supposed to look two different ways to give you an opportunity to get past him. But he never does. He just stands there as this massive cog in the machine and you just can't get on. The sequence here, there's traps below me, so if you're wondering why I'm on the scaffolding, if you just run straight through it, you're dead. But I just couldn't find a way to get past him, and he's always there. And to make things worse, there are two other guards you've got to be conscious of, because if you're not, they'll spot you. So my technique in the end ended up being hitting a piece of wood with the blackjack that made enough sound to notify him to move him so I could get past him. And the strategy you're about to see works, but on the recording run it went bad, and I still managed to save it. So what you do here is you wait. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be hitting a part of this fence so that it makes enough noise. If you hit certain parts of the fence, it doesn't work because it doesn't make enough noise for some reason. And I'm watching the guy patrolling. And my logic is, as soon as he starts moving back the other way, I hit this, I get into shadows, the guy comes past me and I boost past him. So here we go, I hit it, he's coming this way. Sometimes he'll be alerted a little bit more and make this trickier, and then I just boost, and on my practice run this went flawlessly, but he turned around, the dude with the crossbow, and for some reason he knows exactly where I am and he alerts his friend. So I'm going to boost over here and get some distance, because when they're yellow like that they will spot you wicked easily. You've got to be super careful. And he looks, doesn't find me, and eventually he walks away. But what this is, that is just random AI. The other times I did this, he didn't see me, ever. But as soon as I hit record, boom, he gives me problems, and you'll notice the music's playing. And what you want to do, if this happens to you, as soon as the music stops, hit this. You'll get your checkpoint, and then you can continue on as if nothing happened. Just be aware that there's one guy there who patrols this corridor, so just be conscious of him. But that sequence there took a lot longer than it should have, because I honestly believe that that guy's pattern is glitched, because he just stands there spazzing with a crossbow in his hand, and he makes it much more awkward than it needs to be. But we're coming up to pretty much the end of the first half of Hidden City, and it's definitely a step up in difficulty. The second section is not too bad, but that's just because I found a really good path. Before I found the path, it was a lot of trial and error, and it took a hell of a long time. But thankfully, you don't have to go through all that hard work of the monotony and the loading screens. Instead, you can just watch the finished product and get through it with ease. And I'm quite envious of you for that. But this is another one of those weird loading doors that just will not open. I was tapping it, you know. I used to play international track and field as a kid game. I know how to tap a fucking button. But thank you for watching anyhow, folks. And as always, you take care now.